Hello, welcome to another tutorial in the series Building a Hotel Website with Alora Web Editor. I'm Samuel Light Roberto Brimpong, and this part of the series we are going to start building our website for real. So please subscribe to our channel and then click the notification bell to get notifications of new videos that we upload. So it has occurred to me that I've not told you how to get access to the application. Well, when you go to alorawebeditor.com, you have a link to join our Telegram channel that has the applications in there you can download along with the website toolkit. You can also check in the description of the video. We have that link there. If you want to know more information about the software, go to alorawebeditor.com and then you'd be able to find out whatever you need. You can also chat with us, send us a message on the website, or post a comment on our videos, and then we'll reply to you as soon as we can. You can also send us an email at tech@alorawebeditor.com, and then we are going to respond to your email as soon as possible. So in this tutorial, we are going to start building our website. For the past 3 videos, we have been working on getting ready to build our website. So the first thing we would want to do is create a few templates that we are going to need. So the first template we'll create is a header template, right? Because we are going to need the navigation you can even call it nav if you want. It doesn't have to be the header. It can be called nav, but I'm just going to name it header here. And I'm going to click submit. Also, I'm going to create another template called footer because we are going to need a footer, and I'm going to show you all these parts of the website that I'm making templates so that we can put in other pages. Let's get started now. So other. Okay, so we have our 2 templates created, but now we can leave it as that. I wanted to create another template called slider, but we are going to talk about that later. So let's go back to our folder and see what we need to do. Let's take a look at our website and see what we need to do. So now with our templates created, we need to go back to refer to our design to see what we need to start with first. And if you see, we created 2 templates, and that's what we call the footer, which is the template. Alright, so if you look at the design, we have 3 sections here we will probably want to include in all our websites, right? So what we need to do now is create templates for these 2 as well, right? So that's one part we need to work on. Then let's go up ahead. So now we see our hero or our header template. I call it a header because it's the first one. We have our logo with our navigation on top of the image, so it's transparent, and we are going to build that, but we are going to do it in a different way. As you can see, this one here is a slider, right? So in the beginning of our tutorial, we are not going to build it with a slider at the beginning. We are just going to build the design down, then later we are going to add a slider to it. Yeah, so once we are done with the website, we'll add a slider to it. So let's just get started. All right, so I'm going to add 2 more templates. I'm going to say temp number, right? Make sure that you have double hyphens there, and let's create another template called foot, right? So let's create another template. We are going to call this one foot. Okay, so we are done with that, and we can move on to building our website. Okay, so we can start from this header right from the start. Let's just go down and then add a background color. But now we probably need to add a background image. Okay, so let's make the color white for now. Let's start building our website first, and then we can see how we are going to deal with this one. All right, so first we need an image. If you look at our design, let's look at our design again and see what we need to do. Now we have 2 texts here, and what I would recommend, as I always recommend, is to put this one in a block, right? So we have an image, we have a block, because we all know how to pull in our navigation, and then we have some images to the left here. This is supposed to be a clickable form, so that when you click on this, it gives you a form for you to search the website, and we are going to do that at the last part of the tutorial. Okay, so now we have these images. We can put all these images one after the other, or we can put it in a block to make it easier to manage or handle when we are dealing with a website. So now that we know how we are going to build this part, let's just get started and finish it. Okay, so we are going to have an image in here. You can see our image, so we reduce the size a bit, and we have a block, we have another block, and we have our last block. I'm sure you understand this very soon. So now this is going to be our navigation. Let's pull it this way, and this is going to be the block that has our images. Now we are going to give this a margin to the top. Let's go margin to the top. That is this match. And then we are going to make the width percentage. We want the width to be around 70%, so that the margin to the left is going to be 15%. Now we are done with what we need to do over here. The next thing we would want to do is make this display table. You don't have to, you can leave it as block and then set the height, but we want to make it display table. Now the background, we want to make this thing transparent. We don't need this background right now. What we need is to have a transparent background. Yes, then we have it settled. Now this one also needs to have a transparent background, so we can either delete the background color node or just leave it there like that, but I choose to leave it there because there might be some views that I probably would want the background to be, but then that's not an excuse. I just want to leave it there, right? But then you can just delete it because that's actually the proper way to do it. Yeah, when you get to those views that you need that, you can just add it to it. So now first we are going to add our hook in here. I'm going to add hook, right? And we are going to look for navigation. So we are pulling in our navigation. At the moment, we've not created our navigation yet. Let's look at our navigation items created so that we start building. So we have rooms, amenities, gallery, about us, and contact us. Okay, so let's just get that one done over with. So let's go to our navigation. That's what we have. Navigation settings, and then we put on, okay, it's off. All right, so we put on the normal mode, and then we are going to add, so we have home, right? Home and home. So the link is going to be the home page, so we put the page there, and then we put a hash in here. We will talk about what the hash is for later. This is the parent. All right, so anytime you want to create a drop down, the parent describes then the node that this particular link should go under, and we'll talk more about it when we are creating drop down menus. All right, so for now let's just focus on what we need to do. So we have about us. Let's put in about us. All right, so let's copy this, paste it here, and then we type about. Sorry, about. All right, so we have, the link is going to be about us because we are going to create this page right now, and the parent is still going to be hash. All right, so we add that one. Then the next navigation item we need to create is amenities, right? So rooms and amenities, and then we are going on. We say, so we say rooms, right? So rooms. We've explained what each of these fields are in a previous video. That's why I'm not really talking about them. So we have that one, then we have amenities. All right, so we can do that, and all right, so we have a parent hash. All right, so let's put a hash there, and then we add that. I think we're almost done. We need a few other ones. So we have gallery and contact us. All right, so they are in the right positions. So let's just go ahead and just put in gallery, and then the last one will be contact us. So So copy, gallery. So let's say gallery, and we are going to give a parent over here. Then all right, so the last one is going to be contact us. So contact us. So select all that, copy. We're going to put that in here and say contact us. All right, so then we have in here hash, and there we go. All right, so we are done with our navigation. So we can take a look at our navigations, and the navigation items are all good. Like, we can close this for now, we don't need to do anything for now, and then we can pull this one in here. Right now, by pulling it in here, you could see that it's not in a straight line because of the size of the box or the block is not enough. All right, so what we will need to do here is increase the size a little bit, and that would work. So but then you need to work on a few things for this navigation. We are going to deal with that later. All right, so this is good now. So here we have some images that we want to deal with. So we have, let's say we have 4 images, right? This part basically, these are our social media links, but this is a search icon. It was created as an icon, right? So we are just going to put the icon there, and that will be one way. There's a way to bring up a search pop-up when you click on this icon to help you search your website. And there's also another way of putting a form so that when you hover your mouse over it, it stretches out for you to search. We are going to do that in different videos, but for now, let's stick with the basic ones that you can do quickly. All right, so we can add a few images here. We need 4 images. So we select the block, and then we are going to add our images. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's great. So then we can reduce the size. We can reduce the size of this one, so we can give it a size. The width will definitely be the same, so that we don't have varying sizes for our navigation. All right, so now let's get going with this. We would want to make this one table, right? As well, we would want to make this block table, as well, right? And that is good. I would want to make this screen a little larger, all right, so that I could see what I'm doing properly. So this is how it's really going to look on the website. You can see the font sizes are a bit big, so we will reduce that when we start working on the navigation right now. All right, so let's get started with, let's finish this up. The width is 15%, but okay, so let's leave it at 15% for now. 15%, or let's make it 20%. That way we would need to reduce the size of the block, which we will. So 20% for all of them, right? 20% for all of them. 20%, so 20%. Well, then we go ahead to 20%. Okay, now what we can do is reduce the width of this block, right? Okay, we reduce it a bit, and then we are going to float it to the right, because we want it to be at the far right, so that we can increase the width of this one a little bit more, right? And deal with it. Okay, so this now works for us. Now let's go. We are going to float this to the right. We are going to add this, and we are going to float it to the right as well. We are going to add this, and we are going to float it to the right. So what's going to happen is that we are going to get our design. Let's look at our design. So we have 3 buttons to the right. So we have 3 icons to the right, and we have 1 to the left, and that's exactly what we've done over here. You can see the font size is a bit smaller, so we are going to deal with that. Now let's add a few text to this block. So we have two text elements that we need to add to this block. All right, so in this case, this one here, this block is going to have the clear node, so that it's always going to remain on a new line. All right, now we are going to make the width of this one 100%, and we are also going to make the width of this one more like 100%, but for now let's make the width 100%. Perfect. Now we need to take this and make the width 80%. Now we add margin to the left. So what we are doing with the margin to the left is we are trying to position that text in the middle and make sure that the length is shorter than the main text. So we are going to put 10 there, and then that will be it. So you see what we have here. If you can see when I hover my mouse over it, this width is 100%, this width is 80%, and it's centered in the middle, so we can have our design here. Right, we can sort of have our design here and then have the text down there in the middle. All right, so let's just move on, finish this part of the tutorial. Now that we are done with that, I think it's time to now put in our images to make it look like the way it's supposed to. So this doesn't save. All right, so let's see. Now let's see the width size of this, 66. So now we are just going to make it 67 so that it flashes properly. We can save that. Okay, now the thing that we want to do now is work on this look. We have a background image over here at the back of the whole thing, and then we are going to add a background image to make it look better. Now let's add background. So let's add background image. Right now you can see that it's automatically repeating, so we are going to add background repeat to tell it, and the default value for the background repeat is no repeat. So when we add to it, we are telling it not to repeat, right? But you can change it to repeat and whatever it is that you want. Background size, so we are saying the size, it should cover the whole section that we have here. Then we have background position, we are centering it right now. Then basically we are done with what we need to do. We can add background effects to it, which is going to make it it's going to have a parallax feel to it, so we can do that. So for now we have our background, right? And then what we need to do is change the image to an image that we want. So this is the image that we have. Let's take a look at the image that we have. We might probably, yes, that's the image that we have. So this is the image that we have, and we put it on the background, and what we need to do is add the rest of it, and then we will be done. All right, so let's add a logo here. The logo is quite cool, and let's add our other icons, then we can look at what we are going to do. All right, so we are going to click on this. I'm going to click on this, and the last one is our Instagram icon. I noticed in our videos we actually didn't import the Instagram icon, so we can just go ahead and import it right now so that we don't forget. All right, so let's go ahead, let's look for our Instagram icon. If it's not here, then it should be here. There it is. All right, so go ahead, okay, and we can select the last one and add the Instagram icon. Right, so if you look at our design, what we have here is simple. We have spaces in between the icons and they are very small. So what we need to do here is put some padding around the icons so that it will be easy for, and so padding to the right we can have 5 or 10. Let's see if 10 will work for us. not percentage. We are looking for 10 pixels. Alright, so as you can see, 10 actually works, but it's a bit too much, so let's make it 5. Okay, 5 works. So padding to the left, we are going to make it 5 as well, so it still comes back to the 10. Alright, so padding to the left, we are making it 5, and to the right, we are going to make it 5. Alright, so we have another one over here, and 5, and to the left 5. Right, now you see all these have the same size. If we don't add the padding to this one, it's going to look huge and awkward over there, so we can just add it to it, and then you can see that they all have the same width and stuff. So now that we have this design done perfectly for us, you can see that we would probably want to put it in the middle, but we are going to do that later. First, let's put some distance between the elements and the edge. So we are going to give it a 60. Okay, 60 is a bit too much. Let's make 40. Alright, so 40 works. Let's look at our design. Once everything, you need to make sure you're looking at your design. So we are going to use this logo to look at the distance that we should give it. I think the 60 was okay, so let's give it 60 over here, and it works perfectly for us. Now you see we are getting closer to the design that we have over there. We are getting closer and closer and closer to that design that we have. Right. Now I'm going to add text align here. And I'm going to center this. Okay. So by centering this element, this is what we have, so that we can have some space in between this one and the block over here. So now that that is settled, let's go ahead and add our text. And you know already we have actions. There's no need for us to go ahead. So we have our H1 action is there, right? And then we have our body text. So we have our H1 actions, and we have our body text, right? And as you can see, our design is parallax, is working as we want it to be. First, we are going to change the color, so we are just going to type our text in here. What do we have? We have luxury hotels and suites. Okay. So we are going to type in here luxury hotels and suites. Okay. And then we are going to look for some gibberish text online, which we call Ispum Lorem. So we are going to look for something. Let's go ahead and type Lorem generator, and we can just pick any of them. Okay. Alright, so we have this content here, and we can go back to our application, and then already selected, so we paste it here. Now let's go and see the font size. Font size is a bit, let's make it 20 and reduce the line height, and we are going to have color white. Okay, and this one is going to have the color white. So we are almost done. We are almost done with our home page. We are almost done with our home. So now if we bring this in a little bit smaller, we can have it looking this way, but still we are almost done with our website. Now let's look at the width of this. 62. Why is it still 62? 67. Alright, so we save. Alright, so now we need to add another node called the veil, right? It starts with a V. You see. Alright, so this node, what it does is it picks the background color, and then you can tint it. So let's make it black, right? And then increase it a bit. So I did add the veil to that one. Wow, that was the one that was selected. Let's delete that one for now. Let's add it to this. This is what needs the veil. So we are going to have a black background, and we are going to have a background like this in here, right? And we save it. Let's give it a refresh and see what we have. As you can see, this background should be transparent, and you get this look here that we have, where we can lighten up the veil a bit by just doing this. Yeah, so we are just changing the background color. So we are changing the opacity of the background color, right? So we just do it this way so that we can see what it's on the background. Now one thing that we can do here is align the elements properly. Okay, so let's go into our design. As you can see, everything is aligned in the middle, and we don't have anything around them is quite in the middle. So what we need to do is go ahead and align this in the middle. So the width of this element is 17, right? So let's just make it 16 so that it works perfectly for us. And by making it 16, we can go back to 17 and then we have this. So we can increase this width to all right, 74, and then we have everything settled out. Now we need to put this in the middle, right? Because the edge of the image, this one is starting, so we don't need this padding at the top, right? So we're just going to remove this padding and place this in the middle. We're going to use our eye to gauge that, and this is also going to be we are going to remove the padding a bit and then put that one here. So you can see we've aligned the top. Now let's go ahead and then work on the colors for the navigation. So now we are going to work on the colors for the navigation. All right, so let's go to, as we all know, we go to node options, and then we turn the navigation on. So what we are doing is telling the application that we are now coming to work on the navigation, so that anything that we click is going to be related to the navigation. And remember, we are not going to deal with anything. We are not going to click anything here because we are not dealing with stuff over there. So we are just going to call in the link base. And what we are going to do is that we are going to make sure the link base is transparent for now. In this view, we want the link base to be transparent. Then we are going to call the link itself, which we see over here, this, and we are going to have the background become transparent as well, and the color needs to be white. And we have the font size reduced a bit because the spaces in there, as you can see, we have so much space in between the navigation items, and that's not exactly what we want. We want it to be closer. As you can see, we want it to be closer and the font size to be a little bit smaller. So we are going to go to 18, right? 18 seems to work. The padding to the right is 25. We are going to do 12. Padding to the left is 25. We are going to do 12. As you can see, it works well. It's in the middle now, and all our fonts look cool. Now with the font size, we can decide to change the font size a bit because probably it looks a little bit smaller than it should. What we will, okay, so this works. So this size actually works, and then we can position it well later. Okay, so then let's move on to, so I went to click there. I shouldn't have clicked there. We don't need to click anywhere there. So now we are going to look at link hover, right? And the link hover is when we hover our mouse over it, what we want to have. And we remember we had this yellow code that we didn't pick, right? So I'm just going to pick any color over here for now, right? And then we're going to make the color black, right? And then we are going to save. For now, we can deal with this until we put our colors in. Let's just refresh our, all right. So that's saved. Our background didn't save. We didn't actually save it. All right. So let's go ahead and go and do all that we did again. That's one of the things that we have to look at. We didn't actually save that, so let's go ahead and save our link. If we go to the link, you see that it wasn't saved. All right, so let's go to the left. As I said, it wasn't saved because I didn't save it. All right, so I want to save that. Okay, now the color is supposed to be white, and then the background is supposed to be transparent. Then I'm going to save. Now after I've saved, I'm done, and we can still see the effects of what we've done working properly. We can change the font family if we want, but I'm going to maintain this for the meantime. Now we can see everything is lining up okay, and then in the first few minutes on the first tutorial of building our home page, we've been able to actually build this home page that we want. It's not a slider yet, but we are going to make it into a slider later. What's important now that we have our design here that we can use later on. So one of the things we can do is to save this section as a section style. And why do we need to save it as a section style? Because we are going to have to create a header, because on the rest of the other pages we wouldn't have this text as part of the header. So what we are going to do now is create a section style that we can move to other pages and then work on later. Alright, so I think we can bring this tutorial to an end. We've been able to create our first section on our website. So in the next tutorial, we are going to finish the home page and then we'll move on to other pages. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.